It's impressive, Bob, the work that you're doing. And how long have you been retired for now?
Oh, I've kind of tried to retire for 10, 11, or 12 years. What is retirement and what is life? For me, being involved in the community is just a fundamental thing I'm doing, whether it's this kind of volunteer work or whatever. I just believe in giving back to the community.
For Bob Peart, giving back isn't just a retirement hobby. It's a mission to change how we see the land we live on. Because when we talk about protecting nature, we usually think in lines on a map, city limits, park boundaries, and legal jurisdictions. But nature doesn't recognize our systems or our paperwork. As Bob has spent the last decade showing his community, a creek doesn't stop at a town boundary. A shoreline doesn't change just because a different council governs it. To protect these places, we have to stop looking at the map and start looking at the bioregion. A bioregional framework is a shift in perspective from municipal planning. Instead of managing land based on where a town ends, it asks us to look at the region as a single living system, defined by shared watersheds, forests, and the species that call it home. On the Saanich Peninsula, located on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, that means recognizing that Central Saanich, North Saanich, Sydney, and the Saanich nations are all part of the same interconnected puzzle. Today we're looking at how Bob and the Saanich Peninsula Environmental Coalition brought together nearly a dozen local groups to create a unified voice for the land. We're talking about what happens when collaboration becomes more than just a buzzword, and how nature groups and municipalities are learning to work together across boundaries to protect the places they all share. I'm Paul Gregory, and this is From Grey to Green. As countries sign on to international agreements, it often gets handed off to the provincial governments and then trickled down to the municipal level. Local governments are often tasked with solving big environmental challenges, but many of them simply don't have the capacity or the knowledge to take it on. On the Saanich Peninsula, the solution seemed obvious. Work together, but in local politics, that's easier said than done.
A number of us got together, I guess it'd be 5 or 6 years ago, and said that amalgamation is you just don't even use the word amalgamation out here. You'd be kicked out the door in 22 seconds. So how can we move forward in an amalgamated manner without using the word amalgamation? What we came up with was this bioregional approach for the Saanich Peninsula. And so if we can have jurisdictional cooperation, and if we can have nature-based solutions that are across the peninsula, east, west, north, south, if we can have that kind of cooperative approach on the Saanich Peninsula, then even though we aren't capital A amalgamated, we're cooperating for the future of the peninsula. And that conversation is comfortable for everyone. So that's kind of the way we approach it.
To create that comfortable conversation, Bob and the other community groups making up the Saanich Peninsula Environmental Coalition, otherwise known as SPEC, built a framework around these three core ideas. This ensures that the region's natural areas are treated as the climate solutions and assets they are. First, ecosystem integrity. The realization that healthy forests, wetlands, and shorelines are connected. Second, jurisdictional collaboration. The idea that towns and First Nations are more effective when they align their policies. And third, community perspective. The importance of local volunteers and organizations and the long-term stewards of the land and water. See the link in the description for more information about the Coalition's bioregional framework.
So we've developed a bioregional framework for the Saanich Peninsula. There are a number of principles involved with that, and then we're trying to incorporate those principles into the official community plans, because each municipality has got an official community plan. So if we can inject that sense of jurisdictional collaboration, we can inject that sense of ecological health and nature-based solutions, and if we can inject that sense of public involvement in order to achieve that, that's really what we're trying to do. So that's what we're moving forward on. And we've had the bioregional framework for 2 or 3 years now. Many of the principles of it are incorporated into Sydney's OCP, Central Saanich's OCP, North Saanich is just finishing theirs off, and it's going to have many elements of that.
Getting these ideas into a municipal plan is a major win. But Bob knows that a plan on paper is only as good as its implementation. To bridge that gap, the coalition teamed up with Simon Fraser University to launch what they called a bioregional checkup. It's essentially a report card for the Peninsula. And the first round of results revealed a clear tension. While residents are highly motivated, doing everything from removing invasive species to installing rain gardens, they are frustrated. The survey showed a significant policy versus practice gap. People see the plans, but they aren't seeing the enforcement of tree bylaws or the proactive regional cooperation they expect. With the help of a small grant from Nature Canada, the coalition is connecting with all the local governments to start acting as a collaborative unit before the next environmental crisis hits. Bob explained the philosophy behind this and why he feels it's time to hold these governments accountable.
You can't just look after nature. You can't just look after climate. It's the same conversation. Bringing those elements together and then looking at the landscape so that nature can take care of a lot of what you're concerned about. So if you've got a really good forest canopy, well, then that helps with erosion. That kind of thing. If you've got connectivity across the landscape, that assists with invasive species, whatever your examples are. And so I think the elements of connectivity and collaboration, restoration, is really, really important to kind of put in place over this landscape. So one of the things we're trying to do is, again, on the Saanich Peninsula, what are nature-based solutions? And we're working with the 3 municipalities to figure out what it is for them and what are the common ones that kind of tie the 3 municipalities together. And so that's really encouraging. And then what we're going to do, though, is we want to hold them fast, though, and make sure they say what they're going to do. So we're now trying to think through, we call it check-up. We're going to check up on the 3 municipalities and make sure that they're doing what they said they'd do. And we're just in the process now of developing the framework and the principles of what check-up would look like. The next set of municipal elections are in fall of 26. So between now and fall of 26, we hope to put 2 or 3 checkup reports out to the public so they've got a sense as to whether the municipalities are moving forward on these principles or not. It's an exciting and an interesting conversation. We just developed it because we thought it was a good idea, but now we're hearing that our approach is kind of special.
You might think municipal staff would be more resistant to greener requirements, but Bob found the opposite. When you stop looking at nature as a cost and start looking at it as infrastructure, the math changes. And how was it received by municipal staff?
Oh, staff just think it's great. Staff totally get it. You have people who are spending perhaps millions of dollars on putting in culverts and putting in drainage ditches. So if you had some kind of marsh or if you had drainage ditches that were natural, that really helps with the absorption of the water. And so those kinds of conversations are being received really well at the staff level. It isn't just because it's a good idea, it also saves money.
What's happening on the Saanich Peninsula is a blueprint. It's proof that you don't need to change municipal boundaries to change how we care for the earth. You just need to change the perspective. This framework and checkup are what it looks like to adopt to a nature-based climate solution, moving beyond the paperwork to address the real-world complexities of our shared ecosystems. It is happening more and more across the country, and your community might be the perfect place for the next bioregional breakthrough. Look at your local creek, your nearest forest, or your shoreline. Who else shares the water? And how could you work together to protect it? From gray to green, that's the vision. If you're ready to move your community in that direction, why not reach out to us at Nature-Based Solutions at naturecanada.ca. To learn more about this work and other nature projects, visit naturecanada.ca/MBCS. When we let nature do what it does best, we all thrive.